in matters of salvation, faith, and life,
proclaiming and contending for the Christian faith,
understanding the Bible in its simplest sense.
truth through the lens of the Holy Scriptures.
I'm Randy Marciades.
And I'm Team Duhay Longsod, and you're watching Truth in Focus.
We're back. So nakita natin that indeed sa unang part it is a gospel issue indeed. Sapagkat pumasok na itong mga LGBT at mga gay Christian movements sa churches. At the same time, it is a social issue that is demanded of a social concern sapagkat hindi lamang in terms of morality ang pinag-uusapan dito sa society, kundi sa medical issue.
Mga health na issues, pinasok na rin.
Pinasok na rin
at
talaga.
At naapektuhan na rin.
Yes. So ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin yung mga latest issue, lalo particularly sa Philippines. So we'll not be speaking about sa international. It does not mean that it doesn't concern us. But
Although I will cite some countries na ano.
Pero let's take it here in real time sa Philippines, and particularly yung mga nangyayari sa balita ngayon na palitan ng mga discourses regarding sa batas. We're not lawyers, but let's talk about the Soji bill and yung mga nangyayari sa current events ngayon, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, regarding this particular concern.
Sige. Pag-usapan natin yan. Alam mo rin, in the Philippines, only 20% of local governments, meaning LGUs, may mga ordinansa regarding anti-discrimination laws or sexual orientation and gender activity or SOGI. One of these is Quezon City, kung saan nangyari nga yung issue about yung hindi naman kubeta ang tawag doon. Sabihin na natin comfort room, di ba? Nagkaroon ng problema yan. This may be a small percentage of the whole of society. Sasabihin ng iba, Quezon City, 20% lang pala sa Pilipinas. Pero kung itong maliit na percentage ang ating tinitignan and we extrapolate it to the whole country, Randy, even if they do not have a local government ordinance regarding these laws, in general, by far, we could say that itong indicator ng problema about homosexuality is prevalent nationwide. Now, this SOGI bill was first elevated in Congress by the late Miriam Defensor Santiago, and then kinuha ni Eta Rosales yung sunod ng mga hakbang dahil nawala na rin si Santiago. Etong si Eta Rosales ang nagpatuloy. At binuhay uli, Randy, in the 18th Congress ni Risa Ontiveros sa 18th Congress. I don't know exactly if this law has been enacted into, a bill rather, enacted into law. But if passed, Randy, sa tingin ko, it would surely open the floodgates to more serious consequences of this, sabihin na nating problema na ating kinakaharap. Now, below, Randy, are listed countries with national laws prohibiting discrimination. On the surface, wala naman tayong problema doon. Hindi natin nilalabanan kung may mga law na tama nga naman, Randy, na dapat walang diskriminasyon sa lahi mo, kulay mo, ganon. Pero kung ating pinaglalaban yung diskriminasyon dahil dito tayo grupo of our expression of our sex or gender, medyo magkakaroon ng problema. So here are the countries worldwide: Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Slovenia, South Africa, Spain, Sweden. And the list is expanding. Ito sila, Randy, meron na talagang national laws na itinatag para sa ganito, including sexual orientation, and gender identity expression. Here is a research, Randy, pewresearch.org, and I tried to look the acceptance of homosexuality among Christians. In the article of Karil Murphy, na pinamagatang Most U.S. Christian Grow More Accepting of Homosexuality, ito yung kanyang findings. Almost all Christian groups now are more accepting of homosexuality. Catholics, for instance, from a low of 58, ngayon ay 17 na. Mainline Protestant, 56 to 66. I'll not name all Christians, 44 to 54. Evangelical Protestants, 26 to 36. In other words, Randy, across the differences of denominations, paangat talaga ang acceptance regarding homosexuality. And to think that this study was conducted 2007 to 2014, ano na kaya ang figures nito ngayon, 2021?
7 years na.
Oh, so I would presume na lalong lumaki or lumobo ang mga ano. That's why ang sabi sa kanyang conclusion, acceptance of homosexuality is rising across the board spectrum of American Christianity. And I said here in my research, same probably here in the Philippines, because we almost copy what the United States is doing, including these things. Ano? And to think that these things are totally opposed to church-going members before, ngayon, tanggap na nila, Randy, itong homosexual relationship. Ano? Amid a changing religious landscape that has been declining, a majority of U.S. Christians daw, 54% now say that homosexuality is okay. I-accept natin. Akalain mo? Tabu dati, ngayon, okay na.
So, I remember nga, sabi ko na, I was born in the 70s eh.
Oo.
So during the 80s, nung elementary years ko,
Wag kang magsalita patungkol dyan.
wag kang lalambot-lambot kasi
Dahil talagang-
magagalit sa'yo. Nababakla ka na or ano. Ganyan, parang kahihiyan nung araw. Lalo na nung time nung 90s na inaabot ko pa yung CAT.
Oh.
So, ang nung dati, yung mga LGBT, mapipilitang magpakalalaki kasi talagang tatastasin yung gilid ng buhok mo dito eh.
Nung sa panahon ko naman, yung mga ganon, may lahing ganon, doon sila sa medic na grupo lang. Ayaw nila yung pamarcha-marchang ganon, na doon lang sila sa medic na nasa tabi may yun naman ang kanilang grupo doon. But let me go on here, Randy. When we say Christians, that is a big group. Now we would want to see siguro kung sino among these Christians are more embracing to these principles that this world is selling to them. Younger church members, Randy, ang napag-alaman na tumatanggap generally. And roughly half, 51% of evangelical Protestant in the millennial generation daw ang tumatanggap nito. So, pabata ng pabata yung sangkatauhan na who accept wholeheartedly itong tinuturo about homosexuality.
So, the saying is true that this millennial period, ng mga time ng mga millennial is a time of the confused
generation. You can say that. But not only that, yung research po tinignan yung bawat grupo naman within the Christendom, as they say, Randy. Halimbawa, African Methodist Movement or the American Baptist Churches, napakataas po ng angat ng kanila acceptance rates, 40 to 54. Assemblies of God, which we have a lot here in the Philippines, 16 to 26%.
taas.
Evangelical Lutheran, meron din dito sa Pilipinas. National Baptist Convention, meron din dito sa Pilipinas. 44 to 56%. Or 35 to 54%. Very big percentages. Southern Baptist Confession. Di ba? Reformed Baptist tayo, Randy.
Hindi tayo SBC ha.
Oo. 23 to 30%. United Church of Christ in the Philippines probably, or United Church of Christ in the USA, 69 to 82.
Napakataas.
Methodist, mayroon ako narinig na ang grupong ito is being split into two just because of
Pre-Methodist.
just because of this issue.
Ang grupo nila ngayon is nagkaroon sila ng paghihiwalay ng Methodist groups dahil lang tama yung survey mo, no? 50% pataas.
Oo.
Ang kalahati ay nag-approve na ng same-sex marriage within the context of their church kasi nga it is unconstitutional, so hindi pa ina-approve ng law. Pero ang mga Methodist churches na ito, mga grupo, ay nagkakasal na sa loob ng kanilang simbahan.
Yun ang masaklap.
Tsaka, I remember when yung ating sound engineer dito sa ating podcast, si John Calvin Soria.
Kilala ko yung batang yun eh.
We had a conversation parang the other day yata or yesterday. Sabi nga niya, sa grupo na pinanggalingan niya dati, kung anumang grupo yon.
Tanggap na tanggap yung ganun.
Oo, ang sabi niya kasi nagpa-practice kasi noon ng mga gifts. So sa gifts na yon, nag-prophesy, nag-speaking in tongues itong LGBT.
Mhm.
Yung bading na gay Christian.
Ano namang sinabi na ano?
Hindi ko na inalam kung anong sinabi. Pero siya na nag-prophesy, siya pa nag-interpret, siya pa yung gifted. So imagine, sa grupo na yon na wala na si John Calvin Soria ngayon doon kasi nasa
Salamat
grupo
sa Diyos
natin.
naman
oo.
at
Imagine, ganun ang kalakaran. Within the context of the quote-unquote church, naglipa na yung mga bakla doon sa loob at accepted sa kanila as a church.
kaya nga Randy, we could go on with these statistics and cite to you a lot more of statistics, but I think we have made the point. Homosexuality that used to be a no-no or a taboo, ngayon with open arms, Randy, na tinatanggap. And it's now on a rampage, just like a battering ram or a battering train. Talaga namang sinasagasaan ang sosyedad. All you have to do is look around. Now, even Christians, unfortunately, ride this bandwagon, Randy. Nakikisakay na ang mga Christians nito. So, what I tried to do is look at this issue in relation naman sa kanyang epekto, Randy, sa sosyedad, dahil this is a social issue. And so when we talk about social issue, probably yung health ipapasok doon. Tinignan ko, Randy, yung correlation ng homosexuality and the incidence, for example, of HIV/AIDS, which is a very serious disease na wala pa atang lunas. Tinignan natin ang epekto ng movement na ito sa mga sakit na ito. At mayroon akong nahalukay na data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is a very prestigious group that does this study sa mga ganito. Alam mo ba ang napag-alaman nila, Randy? HIV and gay and bisexual men compose the biggest group na hawaan ng HIV/AIDS. Dahil ang sabi dito, gay, bisexual, and other men who reported male-to-male sexual contact are the population most affected by HIV in the United States. In 2018, gay and bisexual men made up 69%. Imagine, 69% ng 37,968 new HIV diagnosis. Kung baga, nagpakonsulta. At 69% nito, gay, bisexual. Randy, ang nagka-contract ng AIDS virus. Infected.
So we could presuppose that if that
69.
69% that are infected, we could presuppose the idea also that the bisexuals and the homosexual men are also the large percentage of carriers.
Yes, because where did they get it? Ang premise doon kanina is men-to-men sexual relations So where did they get it? Di sa kanilang lahi din, sila na nagdala, sila pa ang sanhi bakit dumami yung cases. Now, with regards to ethnicity, Randy, kasi sasabihin nila, baka lang yan, it's just
An isolated case.
Prevalent lang yan sa mga Latino or whatever. So tinignan din ng study na ito kung sino-sino ang mga sa Bisaya pa natakbo yan sa HIV or yung nahawaan ng HIV. At nakita rin din that Black African American comprise the highest. Black African American. Hispanic and Latino, 30%. White, Meaning, yung mga Amerikano na puti, dahil sa Amerika naman ginawa ito, 27%. Oh, dahil marami din ng Asyano doon sa Amerika, meron din 3%. Multiple races, 3% down the line. So you see, in terms of demographics as to race, ethnicity, parang nag-gravitate doon sa mga itim, Hispanic, at saka puti na mga gay bisexuals ang may dala nito. So, gay and bisexual men by age naman, Randy. Oh, now we have seen the race and ethnicity. Tinignan kung anong age bracket ang mga nagkaroon ng HIV/AIDS because of their practice of homosexuality. Alam mo ba na ang 13 to 24, 25 to 34 comprise the biggest chunk in terms of age ang nagkaroon ng sakit na ito dahil homosexual sila at bisexual. 13 to 34. That's a very young age, Randy.
Age.
And I've seen one study that the people who contract these diseases, ang pinaka peak lang, Randy, na mabuhay sila sa mundo, nasa 37 or 47.
Too young.
Too young to die. Just because of this foolishness.
They don't grow old because they're young.
Mga kaibigan, napaka-graphic itong sinasabi ko. HIV diagnosis among gay and bisexual men in the US and dependent areas. Tinignan din, Randy, kung saan, I will skip this na lang. Basta sinabi rito, kung titignan mo ang pangyayari sa US lang, Randy, ha? Napakalala na ng problemang ito. So it really is a social issue. But let me say this, Randy, as a qualifier. This thing is more of a moral issue than is a social issue. The social issue na nakikita natin because of this is because there is something wrong in the morality in the first place. Sabi rito, at the end of 2018, an estimated of 1.2 million Americans had HIV. Of those, almost 800,000 were gay and bisexual men.
Ako, ang dami.
I mean, how can we refute these figures? Siguro naman at yung tamang pag-iisip natin, hindi natin pwedeng baguhin pa ang mga figures na to. Tanggapin natin yung problema at harapin natin yung problema. Now, Randy, we were talking about diseases, HIV. Meron akong nakita, a case study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology. Hirap naman i-pronounce, ano? Comparative prevalence rates, Randy, of sexually transmitted diseases in heterosexuals and homosexuals. Ibig sabihin, mga sakit po na nakukuha sa pardon the language, pakikipagtalik ng lalaki sa lalaki or heterosexual male. Tinignan nila, Randy. And you know, overall, homosexual men were significantly more likely than heterosexual men to have gonorrhea, early syphilis, and anal warts. Now, this, I said, is very graphic. A little bit of caution to maybe may mga batang nanonood, but what we are citing is our scientific data. Nakikita na overall po yung mga homosexual na nagpa-practice nga ng same-sex marriage, sila po ang karaniwang nagkakaroon ng mga sexually transmitted disease like gonorrhea, syphilis, and the like. And let me stop there because, as I said, it's very graphic. But I hope I've given you a picture. Now, dito tayo, Randy, sa social issue when it comes to legislation naman. Contributing factors to the exacerbation or yung paglala ng problema about homosexuality. Limited scope yung aking ginawa, Randy. Let's limit it to a few things like social.